Okay, we're live. Welcome to a fantastic video about how to be more charismatic. We have 6 ways, and I'm going to do it like the people in Europe do it. I have 6 ways in which you can be more charismatic. And today thank you, Benjamin, it's going to be presented by 2 INTPs who happen to be brothers and happen to be twins. So welcome to my YouTube channel, Benjamin, my twin brother.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, that was a standing ovation from all of my viewers, Benjamin. I could hear them from across the world.
And I felt it.
Yeah, I mean, and I have several million subscribers, so I'm not saying not to mess up, but don't mess up. So,
oh yeah, man. I'm just
don't let the nerves get you.
Yeah, there's big leagues.
My brother Benjamin is actually quite well versed in speaking to crowds and public speaking and facilitating meetings, and he's a very charismatic person, and that's why I invited him. I'm lying right now. He actually suggested this video, and so
tip number 1: give credit where it's due.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
That's a freebie.
The first tip. All right. So without further ado, we are going to cover 3 a piece. So there's going to be 3 how to be more charismatic in a social setting items per person, and we're going to start with Benjamin. He'll give the first one, and then he's gonna pass me the baton, the proverbial baton, and then I'll do one, and then I'll give it back to him, and so on and so forth. So go ahead, Benjamin. Now it's your turn. How can we be more charismatic? And this is not just for INTPs. This is for the entire world, all types, all people of all backgrounds. So Benjamin, it's yours.
Yeah, one thing that's really interesting to me is INTPs aren't known as being the most social of creatures. Yeah, a lot of INTPs have this weird charisma, this unexplainable charisma that it doesn't necessarily come natural to them, but it's kind of built over time. So that, INTPs love frameworks, and they love systems, and they're really good at observing things and seeing what works and what doesn't. And so I think INTPs observe what works in social settings and what doesn't, and then they build this framework in their own mind of how to be likable in social settings. And you can call that charisma, or you can call it something else. How you get your charisma, to me, it doesn't matter. Either you got it or you don't. And charisma, we're talking about being likable, being charming. Other people, they gravitate to you. They like being around you. They're not rubbed wrong by you. They're more likely to enjoy your social company. That's what we're talking about today. And the first one I want to talk about is bolstering other people's jokes. So if you're in a social setting and you're in a group of people and someone makes a joke, and it doesn't have to be like, all right, everyone, I'm going to tell a joke. And then everyone sits down and they're like, all right, so there's a guy and he walks into it. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be just like in a story, or it can be a response to someone where someone's trying to be funny. If it doesn't work, something that charismatic people do is they bolster the joke. They laugh, and it doesn't have to be a fake laugh. You can poke fun with the person. You can help them get through it. You can take their bad joke and make it into a good one by talking about how laugh with them and turn it into something that the group can enjoy, and everyone will be better off for it. You're the person that delivered or tried to be funny and it failed. They're going to feel better. The group is going to feel more comfortable because it's not that awkward,
yeah, the word ice age. Ice age follows a failed joke.
yes. So that's tip number 1 is if you see someone who just delivered a funny and it wasn't funny, help them. Help them, smooth it over, laugh with them. Don't laugh at them, laugh with them. And that's something that people will love you for.
Yeah, so lean in towards the people and say, you know what, I got your back. I'm going to laugh with you, or I'm going to make it funny on your behalf. But either way, I got your back.
Exactly.
All right, number two. Thank you, Benjamin. Number two. All right, this is kind of esoteric, so I'm going to try my best to explain it. But yeah, Benjamin rubs his hands together. I know that Benjamin takes a fancy for esoteric things, don't you, my
Yes,
friend?
I'm salivating in anticipation. Let's do it.
All right. So what we have to do here is number two is to take up a lot of space, and I'm talking about both physically and emotionally, or emotively, if the latter is a word. So whenever I say take up a lot of space, I'm talking about whenever you're in a social setting, it's okay to just all over the place. Put your arms around. Be expressive. Ha 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 ha. You know, you're on a stage. It's okay to expand and put your arms around people, well, in certain situations, but near people. Whenever you're sitting on a leather couch, like in Mad Men, spread yourself out. And what it's going to show people is that you're comfortable. You've got your stuff together. You're comfortable. You can handle whatever happens, and it's going to put everyone else at ease. They can see that, you know what, he's comfortable, and so I should be comfortable too. So and that's the physical part. The emotive part is exactly what I'm doing here right now. Exaggerate your emotions if you deem it necessary. Don't hold back. It's okay to be explosive if you're trying to explain something really crazy or something amazing that happened, or if you're very passionate or intense about something, then show people that you're passionate and intense about something. Because here's the thing, I learned this whenever I had a brief stint in stage acting. Whenever you think you're being expressive in real life, you're not. So most of the time, whenever people's like, you know what, I just came across like Mickey Mouse, and actually it was like this. This is how the person came across.
Right.
They were as expressive as Mickey Mouse. Like, what you have to do is you have to exaggerate it. And in my head right now, I just felt like I bursted the boundaries of reality itself with how much I moved and everything. But it probably just looked like to y'all like he's being really expressive. So that's the second item. Benjamin, here's the proverbial baton. A baton I'm handing back to you.
Yeah, I like that. You're talking about owning the atmosphere.
Yes.
Owning the space around you. And like you said, you're exactly right. Whenever you own the atmosphere, it puts everybody else in like this state of mind where, you know, who's the first person who's going to show that they're comfortable. And once it happens, it causes like a chain reaction of everybody just kind of falling into place and being comfortable in the social situation. That's
yeah,
good
it's
stuff.
it's the enriched uranium-235 of an atom bomb.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a perfect analogy. That was Jesus.
All right.
I was just nodding, but I still don't get it. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't. Yeah. Uranium. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Beautiful analogy. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So if I went first and you did the second one, that means that I'm number 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This like they do overseas.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3. Provide opportunities for other people to talk, especially silent or passive friends. And this one is twofold. So the first part of it is if there's a group of people talking together and you found a really interesting subject and it's something that you can just talk about forever, like how well time dilation is explained and represented in sci-fi movies. And you go on and on and on and on and on. There's a bell curve of effectiveness, and you want to stay in the bell curve where you're showing that it's an interesting subject and that you can add to the conversation, but you don't want to go so far that people are like, do we get to talk?
Right. In other words, you want to stay within the first and second standard deviation from the arithmetic mean of the bell curve.
Yes, exactly. And that was a much better analogy than the other one. And you can very quickly go too far on the bell curve. So if you're talking in a social situation,
talking too much, right? Talking too much. That's whenever you say go too far, you're saying talking too much.
Yeah, and it's also talking and presenting in a way that gives other people opportunities to add to the conversation. It's not just I've been talking for a while, so now I'm not going to talk. It's using your tone. That in a
social conversation. I was at a bar or something, and I was like, I've been talking too much. I am going to stop now.
Right. And that's a hell of a lot better than the alternative where everyone's like, like I have something to say to this, but he kept talking, and now we're talking about something different, and I can't even add to it because he wouldn't stop. So make sure you're conscious of how long you've been talking about something, and you're creating opportunities for other people to chime in. And here's this tip is basically two combined into one. And the other half of that is if you have friends and if you're talking to people, or it doesn't have to be your friends, it could be strangers, anyone that's talking in the group with you, and there's one person who hasn't had a chance to talk yet. And maybe it's because they're a more passive kind of person. Maybe they're a super duper introverted. Maybe they're not necessarily super confident of themselves or assertive, and you can tell that they're enjoying the company, but they just haven't had an opportunity to talk yet. Bring them in.
Yeah.
Say, what do you think about time dilation in Interstellar? What do you think about the diesel versus gasoline as fuel in vehicles and the pros and cons? So whenever you're talking about something, you can either steer the conversation so that it naturally goes to that person who hasn't had a chance to be involved yet, or you can just flat out say, look at that person and just bam, bring them in. Yeah. What do you think about it? And bring in those people. And charismatic people, they create opportunities for people who haven't had a chance to talk yet, and it makes everyone feel included.
Yeah. So speaking as someone who was and occasionally still has a problem with being kind of left out whenever there's a bunch of blabbermouths and people that won't stop talking, it feels really good whenever another person recognizes you and says, "Hey, Jeremy, what do you think about it?" That literally feels like someone's reaching their hand into the frozen ice lake and pulling me out from underneath the ice. Exactly. I don't know why my examples are so morbid today. Can I combine this with the enriched uranium-235 isotope somehow?
Please don't. We're good. We're good.
But, it now is four. How do they do four over there? Like that?
Yeah. Four? Yes. It's definitely like that. I think they put it like that.
Yeah. Four.
Yeah, that's probably how they do it.
So the fourth item is show people that you're paying attention. And what I mean by that is a concept called active listening. And I was first introduced to this in my professional career. And it's something that that really goes a long way whenever you're socializing with other people. And it's essentially acknowledging that the other person, that you are understanding what the other person is saying, and that you're with them whenever they're talking. And it's as simple as nodding and saying, and just confirming that you're with them and interpreting and understanding what they're saying. Laughing instead of something that really kills me is whenever you start talking to someone and then they just
they're out.
I'm like, hello, like for certain types like INTP, we don't talk unless we have something to say. Like talking is not a way for us to naturally express ourselves. That's thinking and analyzing and doing art and stuff like that. Talking, whenever we talk, we want to be heard. You better listen. because it's a treat for others to unwrap. You know, that's how we feel about it. Now others might be like, he's weird, but, but to us, like whenever we talk, we want to be heard. And so whenever people are actively listening, it means so much. Like another good example is an INFP or even an INFJ. Whenever they talk, they really want to be heard, really. And it's very offensive to them if even if you are listening, that you're not showing that you're listening. So make eye contact. Now, you don't have to stare until the end of days, but make eye contact, nod. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. You know, it's so on and so forth. So that's my fourth one.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to add to that is that there's degrees of active listening, and you can use varying degrees of it that based on what's appropriate for the situation. Sometimes if they're just wanting to be heard, if you're talking to someone and they just want to be heard, you know, you can nod and aim your body towards the person and show with, you know, physically that you're listening. But if they're trying to have a full-fledged two-way conversation with you, you can also, and I don't like what I'm getting ready to say can be misconstrued. You don't have to. Some people say to repeat what the person said back to them to show that you're listening. You can do that, but something that I think is better is adding to the conversation yourself. If someone's telling you something and you can sort of see where they're headed with it, you can use what you've heard them say and what you've learned from them to give an idea or a continue the conversation based on the information they've already given you, and that really shows that you've been listening.
Yeah, exactly, and nothing illustrates that like expounding upon someone else's statement.
Yes.
I mean, that's a testament to you listening for the past 30 seconds and using critical thinking to add something else to it. And also, I would add that I just did it in this very moment. So circular reference, infinite loop, recursive loop, database integrity error, primary key foreign key constraint violation, so on and so forth.
Yes, very nice. So that was number four,
I think.
Yeah. All right. So now it's my turn to do number 5.
Yeah.
I think in the UK to do 5, they
it's like look, hey, I got it. Look, it's this.
Yeah. No, you're right. I was thinking about that's it.
Yeah. That's how they do 5 in the UK.
Yep. Okay. So number 5, alternate between complimenting and light teasing if you're going to poke fun at someone. And this one, I feel like a lot of people are guilty of this, guilty of not doing it. And it can really, really rub people wrong and sour a social interaction and make them have a negative view of you, and you don't even know what you did or what's going on. So a good example.
Just to clarify, you're saying that if you're going to tease someone, that make sure you do it a certain way in which you're getting ready to explain. Is that right?
Yes, there's partial truth. So let me give you an example to show what I'm talking about. So if someone did something a few weeks ago and it was just a disaster, it was just a huge disaster, and they there's been enough time to where it's kind of funny now, but it was still a disaster. And you feel like it would be really, really funny if you can poke a little bit of fun about what they did.
Yep.
That's fun, and poking a little bit of fun is totally fun, but preload it by complimenting them first. Boost them up first.
Yep.
Say, talk about something that they did that was good. Talk about one of their qualities that's great. Put them up a little bit before you poke fun, and make sure that their ratio is appropriate. As in, right. if you're gonna poke fun at someone in the intervals, because a lot of times it can be a lot of fun. Poking fun with people, it can be fun and it can be really funny. Definitely. But if you're gonna do it, if you poke fun 4 times in a row, and 4 little mini jabs in a row, and there's nothing in between, it starts to piss the person off.
Yeah, they start
And
to shut
everyone,
down, and
yes, everyone in
awkward.
yes, everyone in the circle feels it, and so you need to sprinkle in. Actually, just open the thing and pour in, boosting up elevation. Laugh with them, make them feel good, and show how they did this accomplishment, that accomplishment. They have these positive traits, and then you can. So, for example, if someone is doing a project at their house and they dumped a whole 40-gallon jar of paint over in their backyard, first say how good of a painter they are. Talk about how whenever they get shit done, they are amazing painters, except for whenever they dump 40 gallons of paint in the grass and all over their shoes.
Right.
So you see how I first talked about they're a great painter, and then I talked about the poking fun after. You want to do it just like that. If you start off, I see you got new shoes. Say that wall needs to be painted. Jeremy, you think maybe you could handle that? Or see, whenever you jab, it just leaves a bad taste in people's mouths.
Yeah. So another example, and this is a true story. So my brother Benjamin here got his car stuck in the mud a few years ago, and I mean stuck in the mud. That's not a euphemism. That's not a metaphor. I mean, it bottomed out the undercarriage in mud. That's how bad. And it was a disaster. But let me be frank with you. Benjamin is also one of the best drivers I've ever seen, because he's even driven a literal race car, a stock car, at the Rusty Walsh driving experience. And he's went 180 miles an hour around a NASCAR track, just him driving the car. And so even the best of drivers can bottom out their car in mud. So that's just another example. And then everyone, whenever I say something like that, it's like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, I didn't know you were a good driver, Benjamin. Oh, I bet that sucked, Benjamin, being stuck in mud. Oh, that happened to me too. And everyone's like, oh, explosion of stuff to converse. And Benjamin doesn't feel bad. He's like, oh yeah, I am good, and I do have my days and all that. And then it livens up the conversation, and then therefore you're seen as more of a charismatic, like leadership oriented person, because you've created room for growth in the conversation and shown that the person's you've added color, and you've said, you know what, nobody's perfect, and here's some interesting things to talk about, and you want to give people a roller coaster of things to talk about and how they feel about themselves and others, and that I totally see that as charismatic.
Exactly.
Yep. 6, or we're on 6, right? Okay.
I actually went to Europe the other day, and 6, they do it like this.
Oh, that's how you do 6 in Europe?
Yeah, just like that.
So YouTube commenters confirm or deny whether or not this is 6. Anybody in Europe?
Pretty sure that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, number 6. This was going to seem trivial, but it ain't trivial. Put your phone down. Put your phone down. So phones are as common as shoes at this point. They're with you all the time. But here's the problem. Nothing says you're not paying attention to someone else like getting out your phone and looking at it. To me, that is a proverbial slap in the face. If you're in having a one-on-one conversation with someone and pull out your phone, that's literally saying, hey, I'm not paying attention to you for a second. That's exactly what it's doing. And if you're in a group of people, it's saying, I'm not really fully engaged right now. I'm going to pull out my phone and look at something because that's more interesting than what we're doing right now. And that can have a ripple effect, a butterfly effect, and start to kind of spread like an infectious disease. Hashtag too soon. Spread like an infectious disease.
Perhaps not the best time to.
Yeah. Hashtag too soon. But anyway, it can spread, and you don't want to do that. So put your phone away, and people will see you, even if it's unconsciously. They'll see you as a more charismatic and caring, and even more of a leader if you don't look at your phone. And I truly mean that. Whenever someone doesn't look at their phone nowadays, if I'm having a rare social interaction with another person, if they don't look at their phone, I immediately hold them to a higher regard. And a lot of other people do too. They just don't realize it. Some of them do. A lot of people do realize it, but yeah. So that's it.
I want to add two things to that, because that's an extremely good point.
Please do.
The first is, this doesn't count. Watch. Look, everyone. I have my phone out, but it's face down.
Yeah, right. Oh, right. Benjamin's connected to the conversation now.
Yeah, no, my phone. No, that doesn't count. Your phone being face down doesn't count. What your phone being face down means, I'm engaged. But believe you me, is that how it goes? Believe you me. If that son of a bitch right there vibrates, just one vibrate away, and that puppy's coming right back over. So I'm just lying in waiting for something interesting to happen. That's what the phone face down means. So that doesn't count.
It's a covert contract. You're like,
yes.
Look, you got my attention, but you better keep it high, because my phone's right there and it's waiting. I gotta just pick it up. I can do some words with friends. I can talk on Facebook Messenger. I can do TikTok. I can do a Snapchat or whatever, So you better keep things very entertaining. That's the message that's sending. It's saying, look, my time is valuable, and I'm ready to take out my phone if this sucks.
And the last thing I want to add to that is, there will be certain situations where you need to have your phone out. If your daughter has a doctor's appointment and you're waiting on a call from the physician to see if they can get her in today, and you're in a group of people, tell them straight up. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm holding on to my phone because I'm expecting a urgent phone call that I can't miss. Do not just sit there and wait on it and not say anything, because that sends an image to everyone that you don't want to send. Just be honest with them. I have my phone out on the table because I'm waiting for a text to make sure that my $10,000 TV that I just ordered is going to be on my doorstep. I know that it's rude, but I'm sorry. I really need to see this. And then just be honest with them. Tell them why your phone is out. So if you have to, you can do that. Just explain it.
Makes perfect sense. So I think that's all 6. Hey, if you haven't hit like on this video or subscribe to my channel, including the notification bell, which I never really knew what that was until like 15 minutes ago. I got all the video of people say it. I never knew what it was, but it actually forces the video to show up in your feed whenever a new video comes on. So hit that too if you like my videos enough to do that. Also, if you hate me or my brother, hit dislike, because that helps the algorithm as well. Or maybe I shouldn't have told you that. But so leave comments, hit the thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm going to leave an awkward pause right now for anyone that's using the TV to hit like or subscribe. And me and my brother Benjamin will. Well, I'd like to thank my brother Benjamin for coming on this video, but also we're both going to stare at you while you hit thumbs up or subscribe.
Did they do it yet?
I don't know.
So on some remotes, you have to like go over and then up, and then you have to like scroll over and then hit the thumbs up, and then like you're not really sure if you even did it. Like you have to hit the back button, and it's like, well, did it navigate away and not save my choice? Like it's.
I don't know. And then on some of them, you have to. It brings up the preview the video links at the end, and then you press down to go back down.
Right.
But then that doesn't go anywhere. So then you have to press up and then back to get back to the regular part of the YouTube video, and then hit like, and then hit back twice and all this.
Yeah.
But
Our
right.
next video, the awful user interfaces of 2021.
That's gonna be a dumpster fire of a video.
Yes.
Okay, bye everyone.